Segment 10.1 dalet. Snapshot of Pil Binyan sample weak verbs in the katal conjugation. First, the katal conjugation for the Pil Binyan of a third yud-hey verb using kof, vav, yud-hey as the pattern verb. Kiviti, kiviti, kivita, kivita, kivit, kivit, kiva, kiva, kivata, kivata, kivinu, kivinu, kivitem, kivitem, kiviten, kiviten, kivu, kivu. And now, the katal conjugation in the Pil Binyan of a sample second resh verb. We will use barach as our sample verb. Berachti, berachti, berachta, berachta, beracht, beracht, berach, berach, beracha, beracha, berachnu, berachnu, berachtem, berachtem, berachten, berachten, berachu, berachu. Now the katal conjugation in the Pil Binyan of a second guttural verb using racham. Richamti, richamti, richamta, richamta, richamt, richamt, richam, richam, richama, richama, richamnu, richamnu, richamtem, richamtem, richamten, richamten, richamu, richamu. Let's turn now to the appendix portion corresponding to this segment so that we may take a closer look at yet another class of variant PL spellings, that is, when the third radical is a guttural or resh. That same appendix entry will introduce us to the PL spelling of geminant verbs and so-called hollow verbs. That will be known as the polel binyan. A related binyan, known as the pilpel, is briefly explained in the footnote on this page. Here's the appendix portion corresponding to 10.1 dalet, snapshot of the Pil Binyan with regard to sample weak verbs in the katal conjugation. As regards third guttural and third aleph verbs in the katal conjugation, we find that their PL spelling resembles the spelling of the pattern verb lamad, since they too will display a patach as the third masculine singular theme vowel. Notice the patach following the second radical in the third guttural verb shilach and in the third resh verb shibar. One extremely common third resh verb, however, is spelled with a segol in the third masculine singular. That is the verb diber. Notice diber with segol as the theme vowel for third masculine singular. For verbs that are third aleph, such as nasa, we find that the second consonant is followed by a tsere throughout, as in third masculine singular, niseh. You'll find exceptions to this where a shava would persist in third feminine singular and third common plural. Let's read through a conjugation for a verb which will give us an example of third guttural or third resh, that is shalach, shilachti, shilachti, shilachta, shilachta, shilacht, shilacht, shilach, shilach, Shilecha, shilecha. Shilachnu, shilachnu. Shilachtem, shilachtem. Shilachten, shilachten. Shilechu, shilechu. Notice that the PL of the verb shavar would resemble shalach that we've just read. And now a third aleph, nasa. Niseti, niseti. Niseta, niseta. Nisate, nisate. Nise, nise. Nisaa, nisaa. Nisenu, nisenu. Nisetem, nisetem. Niseten, niseten. Niseu, niseu. One further PL verb pattern is worth noting. It's called polel. The PL of hollow verbs will double the final radical rather than doubling the middle radical vav. This binyan, which represents the PL for hollow verbs, is known as polel. This process parallels what happens with geminant verbs, since by definition, in a geminant verb, the last two radicals are identical. The polel binyan therefore serves as the PL for geminant and hollow verbs. The most common polel verb you'll find is urum. In the kal binyan, it means to be high. In the polel, it can mean to exalt or to extol. As regards geminant verbs, a very common one is savav. In kal, it means to go around or to surround. In the polel, we find a similar meaning, to surround or to envelop. Let's read over the katal conjugation for these two sample verbs, savav and rum. Sovavti, sovavti. Sovavta, sovavta. Sovavt, sovavt. Sovev, sovev. Sovava, sovava. Sovavnu, sovavnu. Sovavtem, sovavtem. Sovavten, sovavten. Sovavu, sovavu. And rum, as indicative of hollow verbs, in the polel binyan, romamti, romamti. Romamta, romamta. Romamt, romamt. Romem, romem. Romama, romama. Romamnu, romamnu. Romamtem, romamtem. Romamten, romamten. Romamu, romamu.